You've got around $400, a commute that's slowly destroying your patience, and 3 headphones that all claim to fix it.
Every review you've read has picked a different winner. There's a reason for that. These 3 don't lose to each other, they lose to different things. The Sony is the complete one, the Bose is the quiet one, and the Sennheiser is the cheapest of the 3, which normally means it's the one making the compromise. It isn't. It's the only one here you could still be using in 6 years, but it's also the only one that can't properly shut a plane up. So before any of this, one honest warning. None of these 3 is the obvious answer. Price and first look.
Let's talk about money, because the money here is strange.
The Sony WH-1000XM6 is $449, £400 in the UK, $699 Australian. The Bose QuietComfort Ultra 2nd generation is also $449. It's $449 in pounds too, though UK street pricing drops it to around $349 often enough that you should never pay full. The Sennheiser Momentum 5 landed in May 2026 at $399.95, £330, $749 Australian. So the Sennheiser undercuts both by $50, and in the UK by $70. $50 isn't a lot on a $400 headphone. What you give up for it is the thing this entire video turns on. Design, build, and comfort.
Now physically, these split cleanly.
Sony, 254 grams, folds flat and folds up into a compact case. Bose, 250 grams, the lightest here, also folds properly. Sennheiser, 290 grams, and it doesn't fold at all. It lays flat, which means a wide case that fights you in a backpack. Comfort is closer than those weights suggest. The Sennheiser's clamping force is well judged and it stays put when you're walking. You'll notice some ear warmth past the first hour. Its headband looks genuinely premium. The ear cups are plastic and they feel it. On colors, Bose gives you 5 finishes, the widest choice here. Sony and Sennheiser give you 3 each, though Sennheiser's denim blue is a Best Buy exclusive in the US, so check availability first. And here's something all 3 share. Not one of them has an IP rating, which is the 2-digit standard for how much dust and water a product can survive. 0 out of 3. Don't get caught in the rain with any of these. Sound quality.
This is where the Sennheiser stops being the cheap one.
Inside it sits a 42mm dynamic driver. The driver is the speaker element inside each ear cup that actually makes the sound, and a dynamic driver is the traditional cone and coil design, basically a tiny conventional speaker. Sennheiser says it's derived from the HD600 series, a wired headphone people have been buying for about 30 years. And you can hear that. Vocals, acoustic guitar, anything with a human voice at the center of it, the Sennheiser is the most convincing of the 3. Rich, smooth, and it never turns shouty on you. But here's the honest counter. 2 problems. The bass is generous rather than tight, so if you like your low end controlled, you'll be reaching for the equalizer. And it's relaxed where the Sony is urgent. Put on something with a driving rhythm and the Sony pushes it at you, while the Sennheiser lets it breathe. Neither is wrong. They're different answers. The Sony is the best all-rounder here. More detail, wider staging, the strongest sense of drive of the 3. The Bose is the punchiest and the least refined. It's clearly better than the first generation was. It's still 3rd of 3 on pure sound, and if sound is your only axis, that decides it. Check this out. All 3 do spatial audio, which isn't a new audio format. It's a processing effect applied to whatever you're already playing, so how good it sounds depends heavily on the track being mixed for it. Sennheiser uses Dolby Atmos, though head tracking is still coming in a firmware update rather than shipping today. Bose has its immersive audio, with separate still and motion modes. Sony has head-tracked spatial in its app right now. Noise cancellation.
Now, the counter-argument.
ANC, active noise cancellation, puts microphones on the outside of the ear cup, listens to the noise around you, and plays the exact opposite sound wave into your ear to cancel it out. Bose is the best of these 3 at it. Sony is essentially level, and the 2 win on different noise. Sony handles the higher, hissier end slightly better. Bose is stronger on traffic and on a busy cafe. The feel differs too. Bose cancels more obviously, with that pressurized sensation some people can't stand. Sony's is subtler and more natural. The Sennheiser sits a tier below both. It doubled its microphone count to 8, 4 per side, and Sennheiser claims 3 times better cancellation in the mid-range than the last generation. That claim mostly holds up. Voices around you genuinely are reduced better than before. But it's a softening, not a silencing. On a plane, on a train, in an open-plan office, the Sony and the Bose take away more.
And here's the honest truth. Whoever you buy,
every noise-canceling decibel figure any brand publishes is measured at one narrow, low-frequency band, usually between 100 and 300 Hz. Across the full range, in the real world, all 3 land well under their headline numbers. Transparency mode, the setting that pipes the outside world back in, is fine on all 3 and outstanding on none. The Sennheiser sounds a little artificial. You will not forget you're wearing headphones on any of them. Call quality.
quick section, and it's an upset.
The Sennheiser has the best microphones here. Wind rejection is excellent. Voices come through natural rather than processed, and it holds together in echoey rooms. Its weakness is a strange one. General office chatter behind you is handled worse than actual wind is. The cheapest headphone in this video makes you sound the best on a work call. Nobody saw that coming. Battery life and longevity.
Sony, 30 hours with noise canceling on. Bose, 30 hours with noise canceling on, and that falls to 23 the moment you switch immersive audio on.
Sennheiser, 57. Now, that's Sennheiser's own figure, so treat it as a best case and expect a little less with the volume up. But it's close to double what the other 2 claim, and the previous Momentum's battery numbers held up honestly in practice. And here's the part almost nobody covers. The Sennheiser's battery is user replaceable. Pad off, 4 screws out, lift the speaker assembly, swap the cell. There's also a setting that caps charging at 80% to slow the aging of the battery you've got. Sony does have the better emergency charge. 3 minutes on the cable gets you 3 hours of playback, though you need a USB power delivery charger for that, not whatever cable is nearest. And treat that figure the way you treat all fast charge figures. It's measured at moderate volume with canceling off. Every lithium cell in every headphone eventually dies. In the Sony and in the Bose, that is the end of the product. In the Sennheiser, that's a screwdriver and an afternoon. That is what the title of this video means.
App, Codecs, and Ecosystem.
Let's talk codecs. A codec is the compression format used to send audio wirelessly, and this is where the phone in your pocket decides things for you.
Sony gives you SSBC, AAC, and LDAC. Bose gives you SSBC, AAC, and aptX Adaptive. Sennheiser gives you SSBC, AAC, aptX, and aptX Adaptive, plus Snapdragon Sound certification. Sennheiser also lists aptX lossless, but that hasn't been independently confirmed yet, so don't buy the headphone for it. Here's the thing though, on iPhone, none of that matters. Apple's devices speak AAC and nothing else, so all 3 fall back to it. That's Apple restricting codec support at the operating system level, not a flaw in any of these headphones. On Bluetooth versions, Sony is on 5.3, the other 2 on 5.4. Sennheiser has promised a firmware update pushing its pair to 6.0 with LE Audio, the next generation standard that should mean lower latency and better battery. Take that as a promise, not a feature. It isn't there yet. All 3 do multi-point, meaning 2 devices connected at once with automatic switching between them. The Bose takes wired USB-C audio at 16-bit. The Sennheiser takes it at 24-bit 96 kHz. The Sony does not take it at all. Its USB-C port charges. That is the entire feature list for that port. $450 in 2026, and the only wire it accepts is a headphone jack. Who wins each round?
All right, round by round.
Sound, Sony. Noise canceling, Bose, with Sony half a step behind. Comfort and portability, Sony and Bose together, because the Sennheiser won't fold. Call quality, Sennheiser, clearly. Battery, Sennheiser, and it isn't close. Wired flexibility, Sennheiser. Longevity, Sennheiser alone. Price, Sennheiser. Features and app polish, Sony. Sennheiser takes 5 rounds, Sony takes 3.5, Bose takes 1.5, but rounds aren't equal. The 1 round Bose wins outright is the round most people are buying these headphones for in the first place.
who should buy? Buy the Bose if silence is the product. Frequent flyer, open plan office, a loud train twice a day. You want the world gone, and you'll accept third-place sound and a sealed battery to get it. Buy the Sony if you want the fewest compromises anywhere. Best sound, near best noise canceling, the most complete feature set, the best app. You're paying that $50 for an absence of weak spots. Just go in knowing there's no USB-C audio and a battery that ends the product when it goes. Buy the Sennheiser if you're buying this once. Best mid-range, best microphones, close to double the battery, a cell you can replace yourself, 24-bit over USB-C, and $50 cheaper than both. You're giving up the top tier of noise canceling and a case that fits nicely in a bag. Do not buy the Sennheiser if your commute is loud. That is the whole caveat, and it's a real one. And if pure sound is your only access, look at the Bowers & Wilkins PX7S3 first. Final verdict. So, 3 headphones, roughly one price, and no clean winner. Anyone telling you otherwise has picked an access on your behalf. The Bose is the quietest, the Sony is the best, and the Sennheiser is the one that'll still be working when the other two are landfill with a dead cell sealed inside them.
So here's the question. Would you trade the top tier of noise canceling for a headphone that lasts nearly twice as long and can be repaired instead of replaced? Yes or no? Tell me below.
Like and subscribe to Headphones Pro Review, and I'll catch you in the next one.